Sorry I'm late. I was...
Don't. Hearing you blame something only irritate me more. The most precious thing we have in life is our time. We never have enough, especially on a production. If you waste mine again, you're out. I can have the second best girl on the Concorde tonight, frothing at the mouth to take your place. Is that clear enough?
You Hollywood girls are so desperate to become famous, you don't even realize how easy it is to become infamous. Could be you on one of these slabs, Maxine.
Fucking star.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. That's right. Guys, a little special. Well, it's not really a special treat because you guys knew it was coming. It just took a while for it to get. I had to see it twice, so I had to wait for a video on demand. Luckily, it's available now. And we're here to end our retrospective, the Ty West retrospective of Maxine, or the X series, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
The Pearl franchise. There's so many different names you can call this. Which is kind of fun because we're about to dive into the Mad Maxes, which I promised you guys a while ago. But again, we wanted to wait till Furiosa is more available so we can watch it a couple times. But I just figured this out. What way to start the Mad Max retrospective with Maxine?
Yeah.
See what I did there?
Yeah.
See, that's very clever. Very clever there.
Even if we didn't mean it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Shh, don't say that.
Trade secret.
They don't know.
Yeah.
They don't know that I'm not clever. All right. So, yeah. So real quickly, X to me, a couple years back, we did it. X to me is I think one of the best slasher films I've seen in years. And just everything about it was a happy throwback to what I grew up watching, whether it's through Texas Chainsaw, Friday the 13th, The Prowler, all those classics that are close and dear to my heart as a slasher fan. X definitely ticked all the boxes and then some.
And it had a crocodile.
And it has a crocodile. We recently talked about that with, I'm having a brain freeze.
Oh, with
brain freeze.
It's Roadhouse.
No, you wrote a so fuck.
It has a crocodile.
No, I'm not talking about the fucking crocodile. I'm not talking about the fucking crocodile.
Oh, in a violent nature.
In a violent nature. Thank you. Wow. And how they taken the slasher genre and made it something different, Whether you liked it or not, they did something different. Well, X did that. I really do. X almost Boogie Nights meets Texas Chainsaw.
Yeah.
Well acted, great fun, and I was dying for a sequel. As we know, we got Pearl out of that sequel, well, a prequel technically, and I didn't like it. We won't go through the whole thing. I thought it was nothing like the original. He kind of went outside the box, which I guess I can respect. Mia Goth was just fucking annoying and screaming through the whole film. I just thought it was dreadful. It was dreadful. And some of the really good performances out of that film, but she just was terrible in it, and it's unfortunate. So I was scared how they were going to end this because I knew where Maxine was going. It was going to the old Vice Squad, gritty crime dramas that was coming out in the late 70s, early 80s.
Palma.
Movies like 10 to Midnight, Vice Squad, Fort Apache, The Bronx, even the Death Wishes, peppered in with Maniac,
Giallo films as well,
and Giallo films as well, and that was where it was going. But I was concerned because I hated Pearl that much.
Well, I really like Pearl. I like both of them. I really like both of them, X and Pearl. And I thought Mia Goth, white can be a bit shirty, and I get that. So do how that could become grating to people. I thought her performance, especially in a couple of scenes where she gives that monologue near the end, I thought she was outstanding. But, I get the screamy and thing can be a bit annoying. I mean, and imagine that in real life,
Oh, God. Yeah, and she's wonderful. She's good in it. I can't say she's not, but again, that could be the director's choice. It's not her choice. And when you're right, when she does give her a performance, which is more grounded in that, she does do a nice job. But with the help of the other actors around her, that really does help. But yeah, so I didn't know where Maxine was going, and Good news is, people, we get a more grounded person here. We got to keep in mind Pearl was not Maxine.
Different character.
Pearl was just a prequel to the villain in X. So that whininess we were getting from Pearl will not be in this one, because I keep forgetting this is the lead actress, the lead final girl from X. This is not Pearl, so she won't be that whiny character.
Completely different character.
Exactly.
Both played by Mia Goth.
And so let's just jump into it here. And when we talk about, Maxine, do I have my notes up? Why do I have my notes up? There we go. God, my notes are terrible.
So well prepared.
Oh, wait. Oh, crap. Those are the wrong notes. Hold on. Fuck off.
Excuse us, people. We're having technical difficulties.
Oh, yeah. Hold on. Let's go with that. Where, hold on. Where is it? Shit. Did I send it to me? Oh, got it. I got it.
Normal service has been resumed.
A little concern there, people. But we're professional here.
Oh, totally. Professionalism is not an option.
Fuck. Yes. I do like when the film opens up with the quote.
Betty Davis.
In this business, until you're known as a monster, you're not a star.
And then closes with Betty Davis eyes.
Exactly. It starts with the Betty Davis quote, and then it ends with Betty Davis. It's funny. I was curious why they mentioned Betty Davis, and I can kind of get it, because in Hollywood in her day, Betty Davis would be considered the diva.
Yes, totally.
Of her time. Not to take away, she's a wonderful actress. She's probably definitely one of my favorites. But her was definitely on a pedestal when she played some crazy characters.
Yep.
And you can see a little of Betty Davis in Mia Goth's performance. And I'll tell you right now, with Mia Goth's performance in this is by far her best performance in the trilogy.
It's also the whole Betty Davis thing, it sort of ties in with the whole Hollywood, dark side of Hollywood that the film's basically about,
It's funny you mentioned that, because I had a little bit of Lynch in this.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say it.
And you know what film I'm talking about?
Mulholland Drive.
What film?
Mulholland Drive.
Yes.
Also, the score. Now, not just, there's a score, obviously, there's a score and a soundtrack. There's a lot of, 80 songs.
Great music choices.
So the Almost Fire and Give Me All Your Lovin' and stuff like that. But the actual score, that's used as well is pure Angelo Badalamenti, David Lynch. Especially with the likes of Twin Peaks Fire Walk With Me and Mulholland Drive. But yes, there is a definite feel of Mulholland Drive, especially at the end, when she goes up to the house.
Well, the whole thing comes off very, especially the ending.
Yes.
Where it's almost dreamlike.
Dark side of Hollywood plus the dreamlike.
And the shots of the door.
Yes.
Where these girls have been taken, and we get that at the end when she goes to the guys.
And the neon
producers.
The neon lighting at times and stuff as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely reminiscences of even some shots from Deep Red.
Oh, yeah.
Argento stuff.
Yep. Well, this is a giallo film to me.
Yeah, it is. But the great thing about Ty West, just like he did with X, he really tackles all genres.
Yes.
Even though we're got a slasher film technically from X, you see a lot more genres in there, and he blends it extremely well.
Yeah.
He definitely plays nods to the hat to his favorite filmmakers. You can see it clearly, like a Tarantino kind of style, but he makes it his own.
Yeah. Although there's a lot of influences here, and yes, he totally makes it his own as well. But not just in terms of like other directors and stuff. There's obviously the influence of that whole period of Satanic Panic, the video nasties, her referenced, Psycho is openly referenced, so there is a lot going on. And
all right.
It works. But yes.
Let's jump into the characters here. Obviously, we got Maxine, Elizabeth, love Kevin Bacon, Labatt,
brilliant.
Detective Williams, Detective Torres, Molly, Leon. I felt sorry for Leon.
Yep.
And always nice to see Teddy Knight, played by Giancarlo Esposito.
Yes.
Yeah, really cool a lot of cameos. Lily Collins plays Molly. Very creepy cameo, actually.
Yeah.
And we'll get into that. You got the FX artist, which is another fucking great scene.
Yeah.
This film is peppered with some wonderful long shots, or just camera stills, just looking at the actress and her reactions. One when she's getting technically mummified, she's going to need to plaster her face, and it's a great scene. We'll get to here in a second. Now, here's the wonderful thing about Maxine. Pearl can go fuck itself. You don't need to know Pearl. Pearl never existed. It has this film has more relevance for X. You can watch X and Maxine back to back, like I always say, a good sequel back to back, and you have yourself a nice little package. You can remove the shit that was Pearl. It has no reference to it besides the beginning with a little dancing video, which kind of references,
the way
Pearl like
the way Pearl
dance.
danced. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Right.
This has you need to see X before you watch this again, but you do not ever have to watch Pearl, and you're welcome.
Well, I would also say that this could even stand alone. I went to see this with my mum, and my mum hadn't seen either Pearl or X. And
I could never take my mom to see this.
My mum's like a horror fan. Whereas
I know, but I don't think this is horror.
No, it's not really. Well, it's sort of horror mystery thriller, but I couldn't take my dad because he's just not a horror fan. He just doesn't get horror. He would be like, "What's this nonsense?" You know what I mean? I want to, put on a gangster film or something like that, or a western. He just wouldn't get it. Whereas I took my mum to see this, and she hadn't seen the previous two, Pearl or X. But she still was able to jump into the story, Yes, I explained a wee bit about the previous films beforehand, but, it wasn't that necessary. I'm a big fan of Pearl. I know you didn't like it at all. That's fair enough. But yes, to me, this can stand alone. People can jump into this. Yes, there is certain things you do need to know about X and stuff. Oh, by the way, seeing X, there's a brief scene with a televangelist. You know who the televangelist is in X?
Yeah, it's the father.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. That's why X, I think, is kind of important to see. Little things like that.
Yeah, there is little details that do add up if you're really sort of paying attention and really into it. But I think casual mainstream cinema viewers could watch this without having seen the previous two and still enjoy it.
Yeah, I still think you should see X.
Yeah, no, I would recommend seeing both, actually. But obviously, I think it could still work as a standalone.
I love one of the opening sequences when she's going to a big Hollywood audition.
Yes.
She's obviously a porn star right now, which is what she wanted to be.
For the Puritan too.
In X. I just love the whole hypocrisy of Hollywood. It's wonderful because the audition scene is really good, and this is
she's brilliant in it.
And she has to sell it, and they ask you, why are you going from porn to this? And they kind of made like porn was seedy and ew.
Yeah.
But she gives this amazing performance, well played by Mia Goth in her audition, and they all looked at her, and then they pause and they say, "Wow, that was really good. Now, can you take off your shirt and show us your breasts?" And it was like, it just shows you the similarity of what the porn industry, which is ew, and what they're asking her to do there at an interview in a Hollywood major studio. So
there's also,
it kind of plays on that.
There's also a brilliant touch where, just before the credits come up, where she, after the audition, she goes out and all the other girls are waiting for their audition, and she goes, "You may all fucking go home because I fucking nailed that." And it's just brilliantly done by Goth.
Now, we're in 1985.
Yep.
That's where this all takes place. Now, it's kind of fun. I like when they pepper in reality with, fiction. Mm-hmm. Clearly, there's this Night Stalker killer. Now, the Night Stalker killer did exist.
Richard Ramirez.
From 1984 to 1985. Yes, Richard Ramirez. He killed about 14 people in that span.
Yeah.
And maybe more. He just passed not too long ago. God rest his soul. Piece of shit.
Yeah, scumbag.
And creepy fucker.
Yeah.
Man, he was a creepy fucker. But there's a nice little rug pull they give us where she's doing a show, like you
peep
pay
show.
a pound. Peep show. That's it. So I don't know what it is. You probably
I just fucking
no, you just knew exactly what it was. That's cool, man. No, but whatever you do on your time, Trevor, that's fine. You like your peep show.
I never had peep shows here, but I know what a peep show is.
Well, no, it's cool. You don't have to. Don't worry about it, man. It's okay. Our listeners will not judge you. You like peep shows. So, perv.
Is there a peep show?
So, sure. Okay. Yeah. You get your own booth.
I should do one. Oh, that would be weird.
But then you see this guy, and he's obviously the killer. The violent temper. He breaks the, which we find out is her father.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, spoiler alert.
Yeah. Major spoiler alert. Yeah.
Yeah. I should let you know.
Also, might as well add at this point that it's not really the Night Stalker. It's a copycat. And it's her father, which we've just spoiled. Yeah.
But the scene, anyways, we see her. So she's leaving, and she's walking down this alleyway, and she's being chased now by this madman, and we think is the killer.
The Buster King
kind of throws you off, and then you find out that she's been actually baiting him. She turns around, she has a gun, and she's not panicking. She just turns around, aims it, and she's going to kill him.
I think she was panicking at first.
She doesn't kill him.
Oh, I go this scene. Oh dear,
God.
Oh. Any male will wince extremely at this scene where she crushes his balls under her stiletto heel. Oh, and you see it all. And it's just like, see, when I watched this in the cinema, I was like, oh, I actually jumped down my seat a bit and was like, oh, and crossed my legs, just, like instinctively. So that, yeah, it's rough as hell.
Fucker deserved it though.
Oh yeah, I mean he was going to
it's one of those things that you can't go, oh, did they have to show that? You kind of said, yeah, they did. He deserved it. Fucker.
And the gore is hardcore in this when it happens, but it doesn't. I mean, it's not. Well, it sort of is gratuitous when it happens, but at the same time, it is. There's not that many scenes of gore, but when it happens, it is full on.
She receives that tape.
Yeah.
From the Texas Police Department. And pretty much what's happening is the killer is taunting her and telling her I know your story.
Yes.
You need to,
because she's gotten away with the basically, I love that reference by the way in the newspaper to Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It was, the headline says Texas Porn Star Massacre. But she's gotten away with her involvement in it, and that she had, although obviously it was self-defense. She killed Pearl and her husband in X, but she has gotten away with any sort of, blame or police involvement or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, she just ran away. I never understood why she just didn't tell what happened, because she would probably be all right.
Yeah, it was self-defense, essentially,
No, the film did have those nice little cutaways. Kind of like when we talk about Long Legs.
Yeah.
With you see it through an old recorder through modern film.
Yes.
Kind of like
there's video
back and forth a bit.
And there's great touches where it's with the video scenes. There's like, it's like you see the wee lines going up and all, like you would have seen on videos and stuff. So it's very well done. Attention to detail.
I like the fact that I never understood why the two cops, Torres and Williams, were really after her.
They just knew it was connected to her because it was her friends.
It was her friends, Amber, and I think it was Amber and Tabby.
Yes, she was. I think that was their names. But she was they were dotting all their I's and crossing all their T's. The detectives, they were good detectives, actually. Good at their job. But they knew that she was the last person that they were seen alive with. So, they were just investigating. But then when she starts getting on all suspiciously and stuff, they didn't know about X, the events of X, and they didn't really care, to be honest, either. Because there's even a line later on where they say, basically, look, we don't give a shit about your drug habit, we're not vice, you know what I mean? We're not narcotics, we're homicide. So, but Maxine's obviously very cagey, and obviously that raises their suspicions. It's basically her fault. For having, although they do save her at the end, so she can't be too moany about it. And it all works out for her.
So when she's going to get the mask fitting,
yes,
I was talking about this in the beginning of
she gets the role in the Puritan 2. I love that whole sort of like satanic sort of video nasty type, video throwback, Yes, she got the part.
So she's getting a mask made out of her like you do in most horror films.
Yeah.
And there's a nice shot where the FX girl is talking to her and she goes, you okay? Okay. Take, her obviously her face is covered. And she leaves the room and the camera's just sitting right in front of her. and slowly, I mean, very slowly panning toward her. As she's doing this, you can see Mia Goth really sells it. She's starting to have flashbacks.
Yeah.
We get little glimpses of X.
Yeah.
Hence the reason why I think it's nice to see X before you see this. But she's having flashbacks of what happened because of all this happening, all these videos she's getting, and all these Kevin Bacon's taunting her, and she's starting to remember or not want to remember, but she's starting to have these flashbacks of what happened. And so she's covered in goo. So she's having these. Now she starts having panic attacks because now you got the claustrophobic feel because she's, covered in all this goo. And there's a nice shot where you see the goo just dripping from her nose, and it almost looks like she's melting.
Yes.
And it's just,
well, see,
this is something you'd get. This is kind of a shot you would get from Lynch.
Yep.
It almost had not a Blue Velvet feel. I can't remember, but
Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me or something like that.
No, I hate that. I hate that shit. I'm not comparing it to that.
That's fucking amazing.
So it's crap. They should just call it Fire Walk with Trap.
Right. I'm not going to argue. This is about Maxine. It's not about Fire Walk.
Oh, now you're.
We should do that.
We got it, people. We actually have Trevor now upset. You see that? How he just you fucker, you get away. Yeah, I got your Halloween.
You know what?
Shit.
You know what?
Yeah.
You know what really works in this scene? Just you're talking about whenever the camera is zooming in on her, and there's a certain section of the score just kicks in just as the goo drops, off her face. So it's brilliantly edited, and this is edited by Ty West himself.
Yeah, he does a lot of his own stuff.
Yeah. But
smart man.
Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me is a classic. We'll get to that one day. Trust me.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, dancing dwarfs talking backwards. Yeah,
classic.
This is gonna be great. This classic piece of shit. Give me a break. Oh my God, I get it.
One of my favorite films.
I get it. The log lady. I understand her needs. Oh God, you bunch of freaks.
Bunch of freaks. He's a man.
I complimented Lynch. I've complimented Lynch, but I'm going to tear him to shreds if I want to when it comes to that shit.
Well, here, you know what I mean? Calling us Lynch fans bunch of freaks, but this is a man who basically a slasher is like him going to a peep show. Ciaran doesn't need to go to peep shows. He just sticks on slashers. That's where he gets his kicks, But anyway, we're digressing.
What? What? Slasher films are fine. You didn't. That wasn't an insult.
You get off on them.
You go to peep shows. You go to peep shows instead of watching slasher films.
I've never been to a peep show in my life.
You just said you don't like slasher films. You'd rather see the real thing, a peep show.
No,
you sicko.
No, fuck. No, I didn't say that. No. I was saying
just said that. Oh my God! Our listening audience jaws have just dropped.
Slashers
everybody.
are like porn to you.
This is
you get off on slashers and you call us freaks.
Yeah, slasher films. You just stupid people making wrong decisions, getting killed by a man who's walking.
Yeah, go ahead, Jason. Yeah, more, Jason. More machete kills. This is good stuff.
Jesus, Trevor, that was a little too. Whoa.
Yeah, but anyway, Maxine. We're talking about Maxine.
There's one of my favorite shots. Is a shot where it's just dialogue, and it's where Elizabeth, the director, who I really like, Debicki, is that her name? Debicki? Elizabeth did.
I'm not
Debicki?
It's Debicki or something. I'm not too sure of the Asian. Yeah.
Tall.
Yes.
Damn.
Yes.
But she's giving her advice.
Yeah.
Because the great thing about the character, that she's the director of the film, and in the beginning, you kind of think she's kind of a bitch, but actually, she's pretty much her guardian angel.
She's her mentor.
Really is her mentor, technically.
While she's tough, you have to be, especially in that business at the time, well, any time. So it's actually a very well-rounded character, and also a woman director in Hollywood would have, at that time would have had to stand up for herself too,
Yeah, exactly. And I like the fact she's kind of like her guardian angel a little bit because you have all these seedy characters.
Oh, they're everywhere.
Who are pretty much all men. So it's nice to have a woman who's a lot more grounded and professional and the leader in the industry playing this kind of part. Because after that tour, and that's where we get the Psycho House tour, which I just fucking loved. Don't care what they're talking about.
That's the Universal backlot, and a lot of this was filmed on the same sets that are used for Hill Valley and Back to the Future. I was there.
Yeah.
You can see the diner and stuff. From Back to the Future and stuff. It's great to see. It was
Again, I think that's Ty West, just peppering in something, let people know how much he loves movies.
Totally.
So
yeah.
yeah, and that's why there's a big part of this does play on the movie set.
What I did like as well concerning the director is there's a line where she says, it's obviously a commentary on elevated horror, which which is a modern day contemporary thing, where she says that, I don't want to make just another slasher. I'm an artist, type thing. So this is going to be cinematic. So that's obviously, there's so much commentary on here, which I loved about the horror, the history of horror films, essentially, that I loved. Even going right back to the silent era, where Maxine puts out her cigarette on Theda Barra's star and stuff. Theda Barra appears in Pearl, and that she's watching him. They're watching her on the movie. So I mean, this is just a whole sort of love letter to not just Hollywood, but Hollywood horror films.
Yeah. No, yeah, it definitely it nods the hat to a lot of a lot of the genres or the subgenres you can say.
Yeah.
But Kevin Bacon
Brilliant.
plays Labatt. He's that that sleazy private investigator.
Brilliant.
And we don't know who he's been hired by, but we know he's been hired by the killer to kind of taunt and to get her to come to this killer's location. And after she has this conversation with Elizabeth, the producer there, you can see her starting to, I'm fucking not doing this. I'm not taking this shit anymore. So she goes to meet Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
She puts the keys between her knuckles.
Yeah.
And she just beats the shit out of him during the song St. Elmo's Fire. It's fucking brilliant. And what a song choice.
Yeah.
Obviously, Ty West loves St. Elmo's Fire because the movie's playing as well.
Yes.
In the marquee near the strip club that she's stripping at or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's yeah, it was just,
and also,
and it's and you're rooting for her because the people that like the guy who gets his balls, the guy who's going to stab her.
Yeah. Then
you got Kevin Bacon. Brutal as it is, they had to get it. You can't go, oh, this is too much. You're like, yeah, give it to me because he deserves.
She's an anti-hero, very much anti-heroine, and she, I mean, Bacon's just brilliant, and I love his accent. That he uses at Deep South. He's just a sleazy sort of pulpy type, old school private detective. He steals the show for me, even over Goth.
Yeah, I think they're all very good in here. Who when the detectives Williams and Torres are there, they steal the show when she's on the scene.
Yeah.
So
Giancarlo as well, especially.
Yeah, but we'll talk about him now. There's a nice shot with him when Gino Carlo, Teddy Knight, is her agent.
Yes.
And she decides she's going to tell him the story of what's happening.
Yeah.
And so instead of giving us this whole fucking dumbed down exposition dump of what we saw in X, we see in X, we don't need it. All it does is, all right, tell me what happened. And then there's a nice sweat.
Yep. A cut.
And he sits back down and goes, wow, why didn't you tell me this before? We didn't need to hear all that.
Yeah.
So it was nicely just cut it.
Yeah, because Ty West knows what he's doing in terms of editing, especially, and directing. Yeah, exactly. And but the character of the agent is also a mentor to her, albeit he's more of a violent badass of a mentor,
Yeah, I don't think I don't want to go with him. See, this character would be something you would see in Mulholland Drive.
Yeah.
This character right here. Because you
kind of quirky
don't know,
as well.
They don't give you enough to know if he's a bad guy or is he a good guy, or you don't know.
No, because
but he's there to help her. That's all we need to know.
It's written, but it's adult actual writing. So it is where that he's neither a good guy or a bad guy. He's just like a fully formed human being, and he takes no shit either. So yes, it's very, very well written all around, including the characters.
When Leon gets it, her only really good friend, which is sad.
Yes.
Terrible death, very violent.
Yeah.
But there was a nice cutting back and forth. So every time she's highlighting a scene, she's highlighting one of the scenes where she's killing something. She stabs, blah blah blah. Every time she highlights something, we cut to his death of him being sliced.
She's reading a script of her stabbing somebody in the fictional film within the film. But also I love little touches like, whenever he does get stabbed and the blood splatters over the videotapes. You know, again, that's a whole sort of nod to video nasties and stuff and horror films on video. So there's so much going on here, and you have to watch it more than once to truly appreciate it all.
She goes to the morgue, I think, with them, and the cops are talking to her, and Torres has, I want, a really good line, and he goes, "You Hollywood girls are so desperate to become famous, you don't realize how easy it is to become infamous."
Yes. Mm-hmm.
It's a great line.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because the line sums up the film.
And it's true.
It sums up the film.
And sort of reality as well, you know?
And then we have the wonderful chase scene between Labatt and herself. And I love the Psycho House.
Yeah.
I wish we were going to go in it, but we weren't going to go that far. And as we know, the Psycho House is on a stage. There's no internal organs of the Psycho House. It's just a shell.
Yeah.
But there's a beautiful shot. I don't know if you caught it when Kevin Bacon. She goes in the Psycho House to hide from him, and Kevin Bacon comes up to the door. You see his shadow, and you see the hat.
Yeah,
he wears the fedora, whatever it is, and you see a shadow, and you see him looking around, and you just see his hat. Like I said, his shadow
at the front door,
and he's going to come. Yep. He's going to come into the door, and then he gets interrupted by the security. Yada yada yada. That whole shot is a remake of the original Psycho when Detective Arbogast, my favorite character in Psycho, walks up to the house back in 1960. Yep, that's the exact same shot. Exact same shot.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought that was really nice.
And even the director of, the film within the film, The Puritan, she talks about, whenever at the end, whenever Maxine has the blonde wig on, he goes, "You're like a Hitchcock blonde." So there's all the Hitchcock stuff going on here as well. And yeah, I mean. Yeah,
she looked, at the end of the film, she looks like Janet Leigh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And the director says, "You're like a Hitchcock blonde,"
Yeah. Now, Lily James is a very small cameo.
Lily Cole?
And Lily Collins.
Sorry. Yeah.
Lily Collins. She's very good in this. It's a small scene, but she's the original actress in Puritan.
Yes.
And she's giving her good advice. We us girls got to stick together, blah, blah, blah.
Then she called her Nadine. She gets her name wrong.
Does she?
Yeah.
But she still means well.
Yeah.
And at the end, before she goes into her trailer, the last scene we see her in, we'll see some of her later.
Yeah.
We'll get to it. But it's her screaming. It's really creepy, actually.
She recreates her scream from the original Puritan, who she says, "My scream has become immortalized on a video cover through over the world, and I'm just a girl from an estate in North Yorkshire," and then she does the scream, but she does it silently, and it's really weird.
Creepy, right?
Again, it's Lynchian. It's like something from David Lynch, and it's very weird. So it is, but it's even weirder whenever, what happens to her, and then you see later on whenever the suitcase falls down the stairs and its contents open up and it's all her body parts and it's her severed head doing the scream, but in reality, you know what I mean? But or like her last act was that same scream before she was basically cut up by the father and his cult. Yeah.
And then before we get to that scene you're just mentioning there, we get the Labatt. Oh my God, the poor bastard.
Oh, yeah.
This guy is so clueless and didn't know anything he was doing. He wasn't doing anything right. And
but he
almost played like the character. He almost reminded me of the dream version of the hitman who can't do it right from Mulholland Drive.
Yeah, oh yeah. But he thinks he's great. He goes, I'm the best there is. I can find anyone. But but with Maxine, he's met his match and his death. But I love, again, it's brilliant writing where he talks about, I'm an atheist. I don't believe in God. But see, just before, as he's about to be crushed to death, he starts saying the Lord's Prayer. Brilliant touches. But yes, we might as well set it up. Or we'll just say that he dies. We might as well say how,
Yeah, the crushing of the car. You know what's funny? You always see these movies where they do this. You know, like mob movies and stuff. They're like, oh, they're gonna crush you in the car.
Yeah,
but you never see it. This one, they show it.
And
man.
not only that, a lot of the time it's like the mob guys just like threatening them to get the information or whatever. Then they stop right at the last minute. They fucking get through with it here, and it's the touches.
I think that's why he did it, because he's like, no, we're gonna show it, and the blood just. And Kevin Bacon sells it, man. You kind of, there's a little part of me who says, oh, yeah, you're like, this guy's just a bumbling idiot. He's not a bad guy,
I don't want to die in here. Oh, come on, please don't do this to me. He's brilliant in it. And it's obviously, this is done by the agent guy, played by Giancarlo, and his sort of hitman with a couple of big vicious dogs, who then lick up Kevin Bacon's blood to clean the scene at the end. And it's not just blood, there's guts and all in it. You know?
Yeah. His death reminded me of Stuntman Mike's in Death Proof.
Yep.
When Kurt Russell was this badass for the whole film, and then when he gets surrounded by the girls and they're kicking his ass, he's like begging for, please don't hurt me, please don't hurt me. It's kind of the same thing, you know?
Yeah.
But I do like the fact how she puts the pieces together, and I didn't catch it right away, which is nice. I do like when she remembers Molly, Amber, Tabby, and they all mentioned that they were going to the Hollywood Hills to see this producer. So she realizes that's the link, and she has this video where she sees the murder. Well, you don't see it; it's very well done, actually. It's almost just like a snuff film, and of Amber's death, and so. She decides to go follow up. Luckily, the police are following her, so she's got backup. She doesn't know it, but she's got backup. But we see the famous door that was in the video, and we find out that it's this pretty much extremist who is anti-porn, anti-horror, anti-slasher film.
They're basically but a religious
they're nuts.
Group, and you see them in the background throughout many of the scenes leading up to this. Like they're outside the studio and stuff protesting about, and it sort of reminds you of the whole sort of Mary Whitehouse sort of, you know, protesting, you know, satanic panic, you know, horror films are from the devil. They're basically one of these groups, but they're even more extreme because they're basically killing people. You know, and all of the cult members have had like family members who have run off to Hollywood and became porn stars or whatever, or appeared in horror films.
So I always want to know where he got the money.
Who, the preacher?
I guess he's
Well, I mean, basically those preachers are loaded. You know what I mean? He got it from the church. You know, those guys. Plus, there's a lot of members probably would have of the cult would have pumped money into it as well. I have no problem with that.
But so we get the whole showdown, the big gunfight, which is fun, and I like that the fact that it ends with pretty much a Hollywood sign, the big showdown. It sucks that Torres gets it.
Yeah, he wanted to be,
and Williams gets it. Both cops.
Yeah.
But they do get their shots off and kill him at the same time. I love when he's dying. He's dying at this point, but she just blows his head clean off, and they fucking show it.
That's all right.
See, the guys who deserve it in this, the funny thing about Ty West, the people who deserve it, whether it's, you know, Kevin Bacon, the fake serial killer that was going after her, or the preacher man here, they show their deaths. So it could, because they're the ones that deserve it.
Well, yes. So, I mean, it's like RoboCop, for example. Like RoboCop, I'm a massive fan of RoboCop. It has some of the most vilest villains ever on screen, and you're sort of laughing because they're so over the top bad. But their death scenes are completely over the top and gory as well. But they fucking deserve it. So that it's like in this, Let
me ask you this: so after she blows the guy's head off, we're at Mann's Chinese Theater, and she's going to the premiere of Puritan 2. Yeah. That's just a dream, right?
No. That's because there's a lot of chopping and changing between, what do you call it, time at the very end. You know what I mean? We're jumping back.
No, because that's why I don't understand. She's at Mann's Chinese Theater. She's a huge celebrity. Blah blah blah.
Yeah,
it had to be a dream, because this is a month later after the killing of the evangelist.
No, they're jumping between time frames. So they are this
because now she's making
yes, it goes back to when they're making it. But yes, I made don't get me wrong, it's open to interpretation. So it could be a dream because it is shot in sort of soft focus and all. I mean, you know, with her coming out and getting out of the car. But no, I'm sort of leaning towards this. This is just a flash forward to the premiere of The Puritan 2.
Yeah, but why would you do that and then go back to the filming of the film?
It's just a bit sort of
I think it was a dream. I think it was just her seeing. I think it was just her seeing what her future or something, or just dreaming it. I don't think, because it wouldn't make any sense to show this scene.
It works for me.
And go back. It kind of threw me off a bit.
Right, yeah, but yeah, I mean, yeah,
it's kind of sloppy. If that's the case, I think she was just reminiscing what she's going to get out of this film, and this is what I think is going to happen. And then she goes back to being on the set of that film, which would make sense. But if he's just showing her success in the future and then going back to the film, it wouldn't make any sense.
No, I get what you're saying.
I think it was a dream. I think she was just hoping this is what was going to happen.
Yeah.
But at the end, I do like she's in that gently kind of outfit, and she's talking to our director, and she just looks in the mirror and says, "You're a fucking movie star."
Yeah.
And
I love the final shot where you see her prop decapitated head for the film, within the film, The Puritan 2, and she goes, it's so lifelike and stuff, and then just it sort of zooms in on the fake decapitated head, and Betty Davis Eyes starts playing by Kim Carnes, and then it gives you the whole sort of, the sort of, it's not a helicopter shot these days, it'd be a drone shot, where it pans out of the studio and then up into the Hollywood Hills, but instead of the Hollywood sign, it says Maxine.
Yeah. There you go. End of the trilogy. Well, actually,
a very unique trilogy.
No, the first X and Maxine are two solid films, and yeah, anyone who likes a slasher and the gritty, like gritty crime dramas like Cruising, Rhythm Freakin's Cruising, or like I mentioned, Vice Squad or the Death Wishes. Mm-hmm. It's got that grittiness to it, but also has that slasher element. It's a fun little mystery, good, really quirky characters. That's where the kind of the Lynch tone comes in, Lynch kind of ideas.
But it's yellow there.
And you've got, you've got Argento, you got Lynch,
De Palma.
You got De Palma, especially you got a lot of blowout in there, and Body Double. Yeah, you got Dressed to Kill. You got all these kind of
Hitchcock.
Well, of course Hitchcock. I mean, we don't have to say Hitchcock. That goes without saying. But yeah, it's solid. Both films, X and Maxine, are just wonderful films, and
I would say as well that
you should check them out.
I've seen Maxine twice. The first time I saw it, while I love the commentary and all of the sort of, the overall commentary and horror film sort of history, essentially, I was a little underwhelmed dramatically, but I very much really appreciated it so much more the second time. What I'm saying is basically it improves. It's very good on a first viewing, but it improves on repeat viewing.
X is still always going to be the better one. X is the,
part for me.
Oh, just fuck off.
I'm serious?
God, you guys are such suckers. Guys, don't listen to him. He goes to peep shows. Like he clearly said.
Ciaran gets off on slashers.
Our listeners will probably go, cool, I like that guy. That's awesome. So do I. Fine, there you go. I meant fine. You go to peep shows.
Yeah, they're my own private peep shows where I watch horror films.
Okay.
Let's end this. Yeah.
Now we're just creepy. This is creepy. Yeah, so next up, guys, is the Mad Max franchise. Those would be fun ones to do. We've got Twisters come, and with Twister, we're also going to do the new M. Night film Trap. I wanted to do it this weekend, but we're not getting it over here in the UK till next week. So now I got to hide from social media, so I do not see the twists, and people are saying it's pretty fun. So we'll probably try to get that out as soon as we can once we see it. And then we got, we're already coming up in Halloween month. We haven't picked those films yet, but we have a rough idea what we're going to do. But we'll certainly announce those real soon.
Oh, yeah.
That's all I got for you. Guess we're going to end it.
Yep. Bye-bye.
All right, guys. What?
Bye-bye, I said.
Why say okay.
Cheerio. All right, cheerio. What the fuck?
I didn't say anything.
Right.
You just were saying bye, whatever.
Right.
God, these Sunday mornings. All right, guys, take care of yourselves. And give us a shout anytime you want at CitizenFrame _ podcast on Instagram and, of course, Facebook. Then until then. Oh, fuck it. We're done. See ya.
Bye.